appear, monsters crawling through the shadows will be brought to light. If there's a black dungeon, and if there's monster to be slain, then you know who will answer the call. The initiative, the dungeon initiative.
Alright, hello and welcome to tonight's special for the Dungeon Initiative. Hope you're all having a great afternoon, Saturday afternoon. We're here at Balanced Martial Arts and Gaming, continuing our story campaign. We have a returning player, Hugh Bungus. That was terrible.
Let me see if that came through.
Is it coming through okay?
Yeah,
Perfect.
not on my side.
When we last saw Hugh, he was inside of the Fire God's Temple, along with Zoe and a couple of new adventuring party members, right?
Yeah.
And at one point, you felt some sort of calling towards a opening in the wall. It seemed like somebody was...
Yeah, that went through the wall.
Yeah. And then you went ahead and dove through.
Yeah.
So, upon diving through, you find yourself in this dark, abysmal plane. The stars above you are seemingly infinite. There's a surrounding landscape where you see like mountains in the distance. Occasionally some shooting stars going across the sky. But overall, you don't seem to see any other sign of life.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just floating here, just in the middle of this thing, right?
Yeah. Like just
Okay.
imagine like almost like a void, but you can kind of see there's grass under your feet. It seems to kind of have this like black and whitish like color tone to it.
Okay. Pretty monotone. All right.
While here, what do you want to do?
I'm just gonna start walking and exploring my surroundings, seeing kind of a way to get out of here, because I don't know if I'm trapped or like what happened.
Alright. So as you're kind of walking around, you realize that like this big open space kind of seems to go on forever. In fact, you seem to make no progress towards the surrounding landscape. The mountains don't seem to get closer. You know, the hills that are surrounding you don't seem to get closer. It's almost like you're walking to the same spot.
Okay.
It's almost like you don't have a grasp on what happened?
Oh, that just popped up.
Let me check something. I'll be right back. It's almost
Oh, it went through now.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. Give me till 10. I'll go back out. Let me know. I'll do it. Tell you, Joe. Sorry about that. You start to notice that you don't have a sense of feeling in your body. It seems kind of like you feel kind of weightless. However, you notice that like the stars above you, there's kind of like a shift and you almost see like a face in the sky looking down at you.
I'm gonna look real hard and I'm gonna see if I'm seeing things or not.
You're not seeing things. I'm actually here.
What the fuck? Who are you?
We've spoken before. It's been some time. I noticed you.
Are you like friend the one?
We can call each other friends. Sure.
Hell yeah.
You notice the shift of the stars kind of formulate into like a humanoid shape, and they kind of like look like they're lying on their sides, looking down at you in the skies. You seem to have gotten yourself into more trouble.
I'm surprisingly really good at doing that.
Well, the past fire gods that used to be in charge of that temple took their secrecy very seriously. Let's just say you took the wrong step through the wrong door.
Ah, so that's what happened. I was wondering how I went through a wall and ended up here.
Well, I was wondering as to how you could even still be existing, considering you went through a veil of death.
A what? Excuse me?
You are clinging on to life. You are dead.
What is your thought of going through a wall and then turning up dead?
Well, it didn't take me too long to figure out what may have happened.
So, is this my actual body, or is that dead on the other side of the wall?
Your body is laying inside of a dungeon somewhere, and you kind of like see a shift in the scenery, and you kind of see an illusion version of your like an empty dungeon room, and your body's just laying on the ground.
Ah. Oh. I felt like that. Like a weird ass position on like a mic neck.
He's looking at you, and he kind of chuckles, and he says, like I said, a misstep, and you suddenly like zoom all the way up and realize you fell thousands upon thousands of feet.
Ah. I just would have liked to die in a better position.
I admire your nobility. I assume you went in after that voice that was calling for help, and you dove head first.
Yeah. I thought my strong neck would have protected me, and yeah. Shit.
Well, it was strong enough to not have your head severed by the impact.
That's true.
But your brains are splattered on the ground.
That's why I should have worn a helmet.
Here's the thing. It took me some time to figure it out, and I was able to reach out to a friend to, humor me. And we found this. And, like, he holds out a finger that kind of extends towards you, right? And he, like, touches right at your chest, and you have, like, this yellow glow appear above where your heart is. And then he seemingly pulls this yellow thread off of it, and he, like, casts it out in front of him. And it seems to kind of stretch on and on and on. And he says, what do you suppose is on the other end?
I don't know. Maybe some sort of fate that was supposed to be for me?
No, let's follow it together. What do you say?
Sounds good to me.
So, the two of you begin to kind of like walk together. Him and his like star-like form. At this point, you now feel the movement, and with that perception check you made, you realize that the ground that you're on, the scenery that you're seeing, is Tierra Promesa, but without the cityscape and everything else.
Oh, okay. So it's before?
you start to realize that the area or the land that you're kind of standing towards is like the northern region where the initiative is normally supposed to be.
Explains why this feels so familiar.
In the afterlife,
I've been here before.
for many people, it can appear as many things. To you, it seems to appear as a empty void, an endless, wandering place.
I guess you could say I've never really been one to stick to one place at one time.
You have been traveling for quite some time, and since we last spoke, how have you been doing with your moral judgment?
I feel like it's been a bit better, but I'm not 100% sure.
It's understandable.
I haven't killed any more women.
You've done your fair share, haven't you?
It was one time. It was an accident.
The time was quite enough, Hugh. Once you learn to take a life and become something normal to you, it's kind of hard to go back, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, she's not the first, but definitely the first innocent wife.
In the time that I've been, and he gets cut off when you hear like a small voice in the distance, kind of like shouting out, like they just got freaked out by something.
And kind of look in that direction.
I wonder what that might be, he says.
I don't know. Shall we go check?
We should. And he kind of like walks with you, and you guys head in that direction. And once you guys kind of push past the foliage and you find a nice clearing, you see that there are 3 figures standing there, and they seem to kind of be imbued with this white hot light. They're like kind of seemingly looking down at their hands, although they have no details to their faces or anything. They seem more like they're confused humanoids.
Curiosity strikes me, and I try and touch one of them.
When you reach out and you touch one, they seem startled, but then their true form starts to kind of come into place. And before you, you see Rodney. What the fuck? Hugh?
So, been a while.
Yeah, it was like, what, half an hour ago I last saw you?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't know how long I've been here.
What am I seeing? What you see, from your perspective, everything is bright and beautiful and shiny. Whoa. Like there's butterflies, birds in the sky. You can feel like a warmth kind of like resting over you. This place looks amazing. Meanwhile, you see the opposite.
I see death and carnage, I'm assuming.
Not death and carnage, just like just everything he's seeing, but it's in black and white, and there's no life. The only sign of life that you see is the god before you and Rodney. The other two forms, they seem to kind of not notice you guys, and they turn and like kind of vanish in different directions, and then it's just you and Rodney. I don't think I've ever seen flowers like that.
I wonder who those 2 white beings were.
What two? Did I even notice that? You noticed them. Would I know who they were? You might have a feeling that you know who it was. I don't remember names. I don't remember them either.
I remember one name, but I can't remember the other one, so I don't feel like a dick if I just
They were your travel companions.
Oh. Wait, why are they lights?
And since then, kind of run off and vanished.
Oh, okay, I guess we can't really ask them then.
But the one standing before you, looking at you, oh, seems like you have a new friend to come along with you, Hugh.
Do I see that?
Yeah.
Hey, Hugh.
Yes.
Who's the starry-looking guy? Good, bad.
Oh, very good.
Okay. I don't have to kick any ass then.
I mean, you probably get your ass kicked because he's a god.
Oh,
I have no interest in violence.
okay.
That's who you would be overpowered once saved.
However, we do have a thread to continue following. Shall we continue?
Yes, we shall.
Where's Zoe?
The god like continues to walk forward, following the thread coming from Hugh's chest.
Okay. Just start following over.
So you guys were walking after the one, and the further north you guys are going, the more you guys see in the expanse of the world. While Hugh, you're seeing like kind of like the dead aspect of things. Rodney, you're seeing like fairies in the sky. The further north you go, you can see that there's like these other spirit creatures wandering the woods. They kind of take curiosity towards you and then kind of like take off in different directions.
Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. My Uncle Johnny would probably love it.
You faced a certain death, didn't you, Rodney?
What?
In the temple of the god. You witnessed a power greater than you expected. You witnessed the rise of one, yet you fell.
No, we succeeded, right?
Yes. And no.
Are you saying I died?
Yes.
Oh,
To bear witness to a god in their raw form. If you're not strong enough to resist this power, you can destroy it.
wait, so does that mean you're dead then? Pointing at Hugh.
Yeah, I kind of fell down a giant hole on the other side of that wall I walked through.
Oh,
And next thing I know, I was here.
oh, shit.
Yeah, kind of a pathetic death, if you ask me.
Well, we're almost there. I can see the temple ahead. And straight ahead, what you guys see, and what you realize now is that you're moving actually much faster in the wake of this god. And what you come across is this large, like, temple with a bunch of beams that kind of surround it. At the center, you see that there's a large well underneath this canopy. And as you get closer, Hugh, you can hear like voices shouting and the sound of like steel clashing. Rodney can hear the same thing.
I kind of looked down the world and looked at Rodney and say, shall we?
You want to go down the well?
I wouldn't suggest jumping down another hole.
What's the worst of it? We're gonna die again.
Take a look.
Oh, peek over.
So when you peek down into the well, you see that it seems to go down forever. But at the very bottom, you can see that there's like a little like fire smoldering at the base. And you can hear the faint sound of screams. Make perception checks.
$13.
13.
So, I mean, from the well itself, you guys can only assume that something terrible is happening at the bottom of that well.
I think something terrible is happening down at the bottom of that well.
I think you're right.
But Hugh, you notice that the thread seems to kind of go off to the left of the entrance to this canopy that you guys just entered. And you can just hear this faint voice say, "Guys, I have an idea."
I kind of turn in the direction of the voice.
So
Trying to think who it is.
when you turn in that direction, you start to get closer. You can kind of see what seems like a silhouette of a dwarf. More specifically, a silhouette of yourself. As you see like this kind of spirit version of yourself interacting with a good group of people. And even though you can't see them, you can hear their voices. And you recognize Edard saying, "Here, come to me." And you hear like what sounds like a dial turn. There's a loud roar, like a fireball being hurled through the air behind you, coming from the well. But then shortly, it seems to kind of stop. And then you see that the form before you, this version of yourself, seems to kind of become more solidified in this vision.
Okay.
And they're standing there now, looking at what looks like a... You can hear like the voice of Xenagos shouting, "How is this possible?" Followed by, "We're the Dungeon Initiative, motherfucker." And then you hear more battle ensue. But then you hear someone say, "Wait, something's not right." And there seems to be chaos as this version of Hugh like gets slammed back into a wall and falls unconscious.
I'm getting ready.
You can hear voices saying, "Our enemies have retreated. And now you stand here victorious with a choice to make. I have realized in my time that perhaps the power I seeked is not here, and that best is served in the hands of another. You will be my vessel here, in the material plane. Serve under my will, and you do not have to die at my feet." There's like a pause, hesitation, and then you hear Xenagos respond, "I will." And then there's like a flash of light, and you just see yourself laying on the ground for some time.
Damn, Hugh. It looks like Hugh got fucked up.
Yeah, Hugh did get fucked up. I hate to be that guy.
He is you.
Uh,
Around this time, you and your friends were off speaking to the gods, and you had just conquered the fight against Xenagos. In this world, the initiative didn't have the same opportunity. In fact, they were overpowered very, very quickly. Yet you were forgotten. And you can see like this other version of yourself like standing up, rubbing his head and kind of looking about. You know, guys? It seems like you may need some help.
That'd probably be nice.
This version of Hugh seems to like go over and grab their weapon. They're looking about. Where the fuck is everybody?
It's kind of a curiosity. Ronnie's just gonna kind of like walk over, just kind of looking over like this other Hughes, go in a circle for a moment, and then just see if you can touch him.
Hugh,
Yes.
I want you to make a.
Yes.
I want you to make an attack with your hammer.
32.
32 to hit Rodney.
Hold on. I think. Actually, I think I do have something. Where is it?
I mean, you got a body.
Where is it? I had to like scroll pretty far on my stuff here to find this. So I'm gonna use my reaction to force the creature to re-roll. So
Go ahead and re-roll.
a second chance.
21.
Don't know good.
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, this version of Hugh like feels something touch him, and it's just like, what the fuck? And he swings the hammer in your general direction, and you get hit across the face with this hammer. Fuck! You take half the damage that he would normally deal, but don't worry about rolling damage right now.
Okay.
You land on the ground, and this version of Hugh's just kind of standing there like SpongeBob's, looking around. Well, I guess we can't interact with him. Ah! You were a ghost. You just scared
Does it
him.
actually hurt?
Huh?
Does it actually hurt?
It's a magical weapon. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Playing a whack fuck.
But the one kind of watching this happen, he says, I wonder what would happen if you truly tried to reach out to him.
I'm gonna reach out to him this time. Touch him.
Make a charisma check.
Uh, 16.
You're like kind of trying to talk to him, you know, get his attention, but he seemingly doesn't see you. And he kind of like grabs his gear, turns south, and he starts to kind of walk off.
Let's throw a rock at him.
Make a
Would that be considered an unarmed strike?
unarmed strike.
Well, I think you just add your dexterity to it. I think because I don't know.
Oh, 22. Which matches my armor class.
So you just you ding him, and he like turns around, like sees the rock like kind of roll off onto the ground, and he's like, "Okay, what the fuck? Who wants to play whack-a-fuck? Come on!"
I could just stun him.
Toss another.
I could just stun him.
This is how you're going to choose to interact with another version of yourself: is taunts, tricks, and jokes.
Yes. Because I know how I'll react.
Can I do like an insight check to see like what he might?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to see like what could possibly help out in this moment. If it'll just load up. I dropped it, but wanted to count.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a pretty high roll too.
I said you can keep it. I said you can keep it.
Oh.
Yeah, what was that roll?
The original one was a 13 plus 8.
Okay.
So that would have been like 21.
And what kind of check are you doing?
Insight.
You have a feeling that because of your current states, being dead spirits, it's going to take a lot more than just throwing rocks at him and just trying to talk. You have to really, like, muster your energy to, like, reach out to him. Hugh? Now, this might sound a little weird because, I'm not sure if you're familiar with anything for, like, monk temples or nothing, but maybe just go right in there, just that, give him a hug.
Take over his body.
Make it mutual, maybe, but, just try to connect with him, all right? Just don't fuck with him too much. Even though I really want to stunning strike him for hitting me with the hammer. Yeah, just hug him or something. I don't know.
I'm gonna go up to him and I'm just gonna wrap my entire body around his.
He turns into a box. Roll for a wisdom check or a wisdom save.
Okay.
He got a 1.
Oh, for this Hugh?
Yeah.
Oh,
So you go to do this, and he's suddenly like, "Why do I feel cold? What? Whoa! Oh, what the? Ah! Ah!" And suddenly you're like imbued with his body. You're not like taking over his body, but you feel like you're part of it now.
Okay.
He's just like kind of like checking himself, like, this is really weird. I gotta get the fuck out of this place. Like cursed bullshit, elven magic probably.
Look up at the one.
Did that do anything? The one is gone.
Son of a bitch!
He does this every time.
Right after Hugh, just stunning strike.
And you can still hear it's like Rodney there. It's almost like you're existing within the body of this other Hugh. Hugh, just wait, hold on, wait, stunning strike. Doesn't seem to affect him. He just continues to kind of walk.
Magic.
And
I'm gonna try and just talk to myself.
Make
It sounds crazy.
a charisma check, or if you have persuasion or intimidation that's higher, you can use one of those.
I got an 11 on the charisma.
So,
Or you said or persuasion?
yeah, if one of those scores is higher, you can add it to your die roll instead.
Okay. The 11 by.
So, for the next few days, you guys watch as Hugh makes his way across the northern plains.
Constantly trying to stunning strike him.
Yep. And every once in a while, he stops for shelter, and you notice that like he's had to hunt and fight a bunch of creatures. He killed like some giant boar and like ripped it apart to like cook his meal one night. And just when things were starting to seem a little desperate, just out in the distance, he sees like there's a large town of chicken people.
Oh no.
And he just kind of starts heading in that direction. Now, I want you to play this version of Hugh, right? Approaching the chicken town, while also retaining your original version of Hugh at the same time. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So he sees the town. What does he do?
I'm gonna see if I can find any help at this town.
Solid. So as you head into the town, the chicken folk kind of all see you. You don't see anyone familiar, like the town owner or anything like that. like the mayor, you know, essentially. It seems like they went off on a hunting party based on the information gathered, and you run into a guy named Huey. Huey the chicken, and he sees you.
What does that chicken look like, babe?
Like they have like a beard and everything.
Yeah,
But
chicken version of
they
it.
see you coming and they say, "Ah, we don't get a lot of you people around here."
What do you mean by you people?
Dwarfs. We don't get a lot of dwarfs. You
Yeah, well,
you
why
travel
people
far?
like to stay underground.
You travel far?
Far enough.
Have you you seen any of the things going on?
No?
Yeah. Fires in the distance. Many problems. Weird hunting patterns. Bad things.
I mean, I'm headed north.
You're headed south, by
Maybe
the way.
I'll check it out for you.
You're headed south.
I'm
Here.
headed south?
Yeah, you're like going away from like everything that he's mentioning.
Oh. I'm coming from north, but I haven't noticed anything different.
You probably got lucky. Good. Well, if you need supplies, there's a little space here. You can pick up some provisions. I gotta get back to work.
Oh, thank you.
That kind of like wanders off. And
Cool.
as you're kind of like making your way through this town, this version of Hugh, he notices that there's like a forge with like an open like roofing area, and like there's a couple of these chicken folk who are like kind of like, you know, crafting tools, and they're like, you know, working within this area, and he notices that there is a large, almost human looking man standing amongst them. He stands about 7'5". And he's big, burly, strong. He's got no shirt on. He's got like sweat dripping off his body. He's clanging the metal. He lifts it. He cools it. And Hugh, the original, yourself, realizes that it's the forge god. And they look right at your Hugh.
I thought the forge god was the dwarf.
They're like kind of just staring at you, and they almost seem to be like expecting something.
This version Hugh is gonna greet him.
Yeah, they look at you, and they say, "Maybe you won't be such a failure."
Originally, Hugh was gonna take offense to that. Kind of swear to his breath, this motherfucker.
Are you good with steel? He asks.
This version's Hugh? Yeah, of course I am.
Grab some of those tools over there, and let's get to work.
Alright. He grabs the tools.
He kind of goes over and he pulls out this covered piece of metal, and when he pulls it and unveils it, you see that there's this really long sword laid across the table. And looking over it, he says, "I took this from a place in the southern region. Belongs to a well-renowned family called the Stormbanes. Perhaps you know of them."
Yeah, everybody knows the storm dance.
Well, we need to turn this into a proper weapon. One that can be used against any enemy. Do you think you're up for the task?
Even though I can't even touch him, I'm just like, just say yes. Say yes.
You still there?
Yeah, still here.
Oh, okay.
he was gonna pick up the sword and kind of look at it. Going, well, I mean, this thing's a piece of shit. There's so many chips and there's cracks in this thing.
As an ancestral sword that's been passed down generation to generation should appear. But it is due time.
No, if it's a proper, well-maintained sword by somebody who's forged it properly, it should last generations
Then,
without having any imperfections in it.
then the hope is that you're the right one for the job.
Did you make this sword?
I did not.
I was gonna say this thing's a piece of shit.
But one day it's going to hold meaning to a lot of people. And with your craftsmanship and my power, we can make it a weapon worthy of killing a god.
I mean, killing a god.
Soon, your friends will be gone from this world. And you will be the last remaining person.
What do you mean it'll be the last one?
Someday soon, you will be the only one member left of the Dungeon Edition.
Well, I mean, I'm the oldest. I would outlive everybody else. It makes sense.
That logic is sound. Shall we get to work?
Sure.
So, for the next few days, you and the god begin to work on the suit. In this time period, you start to hear rumors that there is a great danger coming from the north. Great beasts have stirred awake that have not risen from their dark slumbers in a long time, resurfacing and taking over the land itself. But as you continue to sharpen this blade, reforge it, make it anew, the Forge God himself giving it the blessings, you notice that it has like a kind of silvery sheen glow that kind of reflects off of the blade itself when the light hits it just right. And when he taps it against the table, it gives off a sound ring, a consistent one. And he looks to you and he says, "It is good."
Well, of course it's good. I made it.
He passes you a sheath for it, and he says, "You need to continue your journey south and deliver this to the fire god." Well,
So,
the soon-to-be fire god.
who is that?
Your companion, Zoe Delani.
Companion.
Correct.
It's not alive me.
I'm not sure if they can hear at all, but it's just like, she's alive?
So even though like this version of you can't hear Rodney, you can hear Rodney.
Yeah.
But as this god tells you that it's time to take the sword, you see that the beautiful sky above you suddenly is darkened by this cloud, almost like a volcano just erupted nearby and is engulfing the landscape. And in the north region, you see that a storm is brewing and getting closer and closer. And the people of the town begin to panic as they realize that there's a fire spreading through the woods.
That doesn't seem good. And I feel like I know exactly who's causing this fire.
Your purpose isn't to fight them. Your purpose is to deliver this sword so that it may be given to the right person. Do you understand?
I understand.
Go then. And do not fail me as he did. And he seems to look right through this version of Hugh. Almost like he's looking at you.
I'm definitely gonna give him some gestures inside the head. And like, like fucking asshole.
Don't be
Don't
foolish,
get
Hugh.
picky.
You play an important role in all of this. And he
What?
kind of shrinks, becomes one of the chicken folk, and then just kind of vanishes.
This has turned into a really interesting adventure now.
Yeah. But also, where the fuck did he go?
There's more lightning strikes in the distance, and you feel a rumble coming from the earth. The people of the town begin to kind of panic as something seems to be coming their way. Gather the warriors! There's a beast approaching! What is that? And you hear like a hissing noise, like a
Like a snake.
kind of, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start packing up my gear, start heading out.
You
Just due to
quickly,
the fact that I don't want to piss off a god.
you,
At least
quick,
if Hugh doesn't.
you quickly gather your gear and you begin to kind of head out of the town. There's people who are fleeing as these kind of satyr-looking creatures begin to make their approach to the town, killing the front line of warriors and kind of spreading through the town and causing chaos. As you get further away, you realize that the hissing sound is coming from a 5-headed hydra that's spewing acid across the top of the buildings that catches fire immediately after.
That's not my problem, I'd say, as I turn around and start very quickly running away.
So, you guys continue on as the town behind you falls to ruin. The cloud kind of slowly drifting behind you guys as you begin to move further south. Exhaustion kind of begins to kick in on the next day as you're climbing up the mountainside of the northern region leading into Terra Promessa. So,
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
So where exactly do we need to go again? Or do
Apparently we need to go find Zoe.
Well, yeah, but like, where would she even be in this?
I don't know, they fucking left me. I have no idea where they'd be.
I'll be honest, I kind of do regret leaving you behind in that cave. I do think I should have just followed you just to make sure you were okay.
I have a question for you. Whose decision was it just to leave?
Well, Zoe was the one kind of just wanted to push forward, and
That's all I needed to hear.
part of me wanted me to go back, but I also felt like maybe I needed to keep going to see things through, but now I'm not sure if that was the right way to go since I'm dead.
The way I went to die.
Yeah.
So, you probably died more often than I did. I played the game with the ground and lost.
I just remember a bright light, and then I see you.
And so I felt coming in.
That's how you felt. So as you guys continue up the mountain, eventually crossing over the top, taking maybe a night to rest here, you can see like the northern region has fallen to chaos as this storm that fell over that town is consistently going on, spreading. Every once in a while, you can hear the cry of some sort of monster in the distance. But you guys go on to the next morning and press on.
I would say, like, just probably just kind of help him out a bit, like, since nothing can really see me, I guess. Like, I do kind of, like, try to scout out ahead of him, just let him know, like, oh, yeah, don't go that way, you know, it's probably swing this way.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So at one point, you're by yourself, continuing to trek forward. You can feel exhaustion kind of kicking in at this point. And Rodney, when you return, um, you saw that there is a town, and it seems to be similar to the one that no, it's okay, it's okay. It seems to be similar to the one that has been described to you as the initiative.
Okay.
But when Hugh sees you, you have a grim appearance upon your face as in the distance you can see that there's fires coming from the temple. Yeah, it's not safe to go over there.
What did you see?
Nothing good. Based on like what you saw, it doesn't look like there's anyone there, which is the biggest thing that was unsettling about it.
Bodies or anything?
From the distance you were at, you could see the many bodies beyond the wall. You did see that the wall was breached, as part of it's been knocked over, and there's a tower that's collapsed as well.
No screaming or nothing.
What do you do, Hugh?
I'll just avoid the town altogether then. I'm not sure what has happened to the people there.
So as you kind of like go down, and you start to kind of pass the town, you can see it. You know, it's much closer, but you can tell that there's doesn't seem to be anybody there. A lot of the wall has been destroyed. There seems to be bodies hanging off the side of the wall itself. Maybe guards that were shot down. Some of them eviscerated as their body parts lay across the scattered field. There's little fires that are kind of still going as embers are still cooling. You can tell that this may have just happened recently.
Oh, that's not very good.
As you kind of reach the southern end of the town, you're kind of starting to leave it behind. You notice that, like, through the trees and the woods, you can see that there is a house. It's the one that you guys would normally stay at.
Mhm.
You can just see it in the distance. The door's hanging open. It seems to have a hole through the ceiling, and the windows are completely blown out. But the thing that gets your attention really is the posts that seem to have been stuck in front of the home. There's about 7 of them.
I'm gonna make my way up to them.
So, as you kind of make your way in that direction, the thunder and lightning, in the background, kind of creating this unease in the air, almost like a storm is approaching, fast, and the air kind of gets heavy, right?
Yeah.
You notice that there are heads on pikes in front of the house.
Oh, I'm gonna look at the head to see if I recognize them.
So going right to left, the first one is LaFace.
Oh no.
The next one is Dorian Gray's. Then you see Jesse's head,
Not the little boy.
followed by Goblins, followed by Cato, followed by Zoe, and followed by Edwards. And not too far from the house, you can see that there is a laid out carcass, well, a trio of carcasses being picked at by birds and vultures and other gnats and such. And you can even see that there is what seems like a large bird-like creature laying next to one of the bodies. This one seems to be breathing still.
I'm gonna make my way over to the creature.
Upon the approach, this creature turns its head towards you, and you see that it's Queenie, the griffin. and
Yeah.
she was basically laying next to. I'm trying to remember the name. The red wolf. Oh, Crag.
No, I don't remember.
Craig.
You did a Craig?
Crag, Bullet, and Windlicker. Yeah. So yeah, she's laying next to Crag's body, which looks like it's been split in half. And she immediately notices you, and you notice that she has a gash running across her left eye, as something slashed her face and cut her eye open. But she immediately stands up and like gets really defensive.
I'm gonna use animal handling to kind of get close to her so I can use my own hands to feel her.
Do you have
Alright.
stats for her?
Yeah, go ahead and roll for animal handling. And do it with advantage because you know you are familiar to her.
Can I roll anything for her?
Okay. Yeah, 19.
What's her wisdom?
Wisdom is
My wisdom
13.
Yeah.
So you approach this creature acting erratically, seemingly defend the remainder of the bodies that are left there, and she squawks at you, and you continue to kind of press towards her, and then you notice that these heavy tears come out of her one eye as she kind of approaches and sniffs at the air in front of you, kind of trying to familiarize herself, and then she just burrows her face right into your chest and collapses before you, and it's just kind of weaning and crying.
So I try to console her as I use lay on hands on her. Try to give her up 20 points of health or whatever helps her.
It seemingly kind of cauterizes the wound, so the blood stops dripping. So you heal her quite a bit, and she's breathing heavily. It's she's in shock, and seemingly you can tell based on your score that she feels comforted by someone familiar.
So,
Yes, I'm just gonna continue controlling her and kind of figure out what the fuck just happened.
Ronnie's kind of remember letters and stuff that I used to get from Johnny and stuff. I imagine some of them probably would have had mentioned Queenie stuff.
Yeah.
Just kind of approaches it, but of course always try and touch her. So this is the big griffin for the dungeon initiative, huh? Queenie, right?
Yeah, that's her name.
Kind of a weird name to just give a griffin, but from the way my uncle used to describe it, Edard saw her as the queen of griffins.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah. Also, it's just a spur of the moment name from the way he describes it.
That also sounds like him.
You can hear somewhere kind of south of you guys the sound of horses running along the road. What do you guys do?
Start making my way over there.
Queenie stands up abruptly and kind of takes steps to follow you, but then she kind of stops and looks back at the bodies behind her. And what you notice, she kind of lays back down and then watches you guys head over towards the road. Are you guys trying to be sneaky, or are you trying to be sneaky?
No. I'm in full plate armor. There's no way I can be sneaky.
If you want, I can go up ahead to make sure it's safe for you.
Yeah, if you could.
Okay. And there's foliage and there's trees that you can maybe tuck under, so you can try to
I'm a
hide there. But with you going straight ahead, you leave him behind, and when you get to the road, you see that there are 3 horses kind of riding up, and they make a left turn towards the house itself.
I would say just kind of instinctively, just from always doing it, he does put up the hood and go invisible. Although I don't think it's really gonna do anything.
Much.
Just
But you notice that there is a beautiful woman with white hair that kind of rides up on her horse. And followed behind her, you see that there is a large, furry-looking fellow, big and strong. He's got scars along his face and chest. And behind him, he's followed by what looks like a small figure of like a girl dressed in all white. And when you catch her face, you notice that she has like the complexion of a snake with purple eyes. And they turn left towards the house, and they kind of seem to stop. And the larger man hops off the horse and immediately goes over to the smaller one and like consoles her. As she kind of falls off the horse and starts to cry on the ground. The other woman kind of going up, she reaches out and she grabs Hedard's head and like pulls it off the pike and like lays it down on the ground. And she starts to go down the line and doing that for each of them.
I'm just gonna run back over to Hugh. So, okay, so I don't think they're dangerous. They might be dangerous, but the snake girl, big furry guy, and woman with white hair.
I just look at them and like, no, they're okay.
Okay.
So I start making my way over there.
So you start to make your way over there, and before you're even like feet, Fenrir like turns to look at you, and like he gets into this like stance, like he's gonna pounce at you.
Come down there, fox boy.
And between gritted teeth, you can see that he said, and he looks at you and he says, "Are you real?"
As real as I can be.
We all swore you died.
I thought I died too, but I guess nobody decided to check on me.
He like kind of like slowly comes towards you, sniffing around you, and he like kind of stands before you. And he puts his hand out like to kind of like touch your head. And when he realizes that you're real, he kind of like scoops you up and gives you a hug.
You want me
It's just good to have one of us still here, man. He like lets you go. Jeez. And
what
like
the fuck happened?
Xenagos happened.
Whoa, why does that surprise me?
He came to the town. He's still spreading. He's making his way this way. We don't have much time. And you see Cassandra taking the heads and like putting them into individual bags and then like hanging them off the side of the horse. And she says, "This is all that's left of him."
So where did he start? Was it here?
He must have started further north and made his way south. Gained more and more followers. We suspect that he's working with something else.
My question is, how did he pass me?
Arzon must have led him through a portal. 1 minute, everything was fine in the town. Then we're all being called through to come back. And when we came back, we were ambushed. Did everything we could. Just wasn't enough.
Sounds like you needed a hand. Sorry, I couldn't be there.
Whatever the case, we have to get going. And he like goes over to where Queenie is at, and Ona like kind of steps up to you. She like reaches over and like takes your hand in hers. And she says, "You can ride with me."
Yeah, I think that might be best.
And as you guys all climb onto the horses,
I don't know how this works. I'm a ghost.
you start to head south. As you're trying to keep up with them,
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
you feel like a tug, Rodney. Like something kind of stop you.
Oh.
And the
Hugh?
horse kind of...
Hugh?
And
Yeah.
and Hugh, you can hear him. Hugh, I don't think I can go any further than this. Well, that's because you're coming with me.
Johnny?
And appearing before you in his halfling form would be Johnny Day Dover. Well, hey, cousin. Oh, hey, nephew. How you doing? Sorry.
Hey,
I guess I could be a little better. You could be a little more alive, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot to go over. But I figure I still got one more job for you. If you're up for it.
I'm not really sure how much I can help out with that.
The initiative aren't the only ones who need help. They got to do their part now. And you see Hugh and the others kind of riding further and further south. And he pulled his hands out for you. Let's get to work together.
Looking back, watching as Hugh and everyone else like continues on. Yeah. Instead of just going for his hands, going for a hug.
You embrace him, and as you guys are hugging, you feel this warm power kind of imbue you, and then in the place that you both stood, both of you vanish. In the coming days, you, along with the surviving members, Ona and Cassandra and Fen, work your best to gather as many people to follow you on your side. Upon reaching word to Godfrey, Godfrey does what he can to assemble a legion against Xenagos and his army. Soon, battle after battle comes for Tierra Promesa. The physical plains facing the greatest of hardships of monsters and beasts continue to appear. And what becomes months becomes years.
I think I forgot to mention to Finn that the sword was supposed to be given to Zoe.
Despite this,
So it's
the sword having supposed to have been going to her to be delivered to Eddard.
Oh.
The spark of hope seems to be dying amongst all of you. And in a last-ditch effort, Ona has been practicing her craft as much as she can. And in doing so, she reaches out to the god of death and asks for answers one day. She sits in a meditative state within this abandoned temple that you all found. And as she's in prayer, you and a couple of the survivors, including Fenrir and Cassandra, sit and wait to see what she does. While this is happening, in the heavens, where the gods reside, Rodney has been working with Johnny, basically to create his connection to Melora. gaining a level of druid during this practice.
Oh. Okay.
With the intent that you would serve as one of her disciples in the coming days. It is in this time that Johnny is working with you, and there seems to be like a disruption within the Holy Hall temple, where the gods would usually unite for their meetings and congregation. Right? Johnny goes over. You may, follow him.
Yeah.
And as the other gods kind of assemble together, a small form begins to appear. Ona seems to project an astral self, version of herself. And she's kind of looking about. I did it! Yes!
That's
Oh,
thanks
man.
for all on, right?
Oh, I have to talk. I don't know who to talk to. Is the Raven Queen here? I need the Raven Queen.
Is the Raven Queen here? I wouldn't know.
And sure enough, this kind of like void opens and this masked form pushes her way through in this raven black dress covered in feathers. She steps forth before Ona, and Ona, kind of intimidated, takes a step back. Oh, I have seen you in so many visions, but now that I see you for real, you're so beautiful. So I have a friend who was supposed to give another friend, who was my dad, a sword that's supposed to help us. You probably already know that we're going through a really hard time down there, and we can really use something to help us out. And the Raven Queen kind of stares at her and seems to ponder what she's saying. But stepping forward, you see that Palor, the god of light, steps forward and he says, "You know what I have to say about this, and you are forbidden from interacting with this." And the Raven Queen kind of like looks at him, and then back at Ona, and she says, "Your sheer will brought you to us today. And it's with this power, this will that you have as a mortal. You have all the tools you need to fix your world." And she seems to kind of hold her hand out for Ona, who she takes it, and make a perception check.
I gotta open up Rodney's thing now.
Me or Rodney?
Rodney.
Is he with me?
Okay.
No, he's down on the mortal plane.
Okay. Perception?
I know this is a little confusing and shambled because I'm trying to like speed run it.
That's fine.
I can't even read that.
I'm not sure if you're talking to me.
Yeah.
Oh, 11.
You don't seem to notice what it is that she passes over to Ona, but Ona like bright smile on her face, and she kind of diminishes and vanishes. And you notice Johnny kind of looking over at Palor, who turns to the Raven Queen and says, "Countless times, every single time you've interfered and get involved, you drag us further down to their level. Their uprising could be the end of us.
Hey Johnny, I'm sorry to think there's a lot more going on here than what they're showing.
Johnny does look at you and he says, try to keep quiet about your opinions on these things. We all know it. We're not the only ones who notice. And you notice that there's a couple of other gods kind of like looking at you guys, and they look over at Paylor. And when Paylor turns, he like locks eyes with you. And then he just kind of continues off in his own direction, while the Raven Queen, she looks over at Johnny and Rodney. And you almost see the porcelain mask that she's wearing kind of crack a little smile before she vanishes.
I don't know if this is just a thing with me or just Dovers in general. Why are tall, scary women so hot?
You and me both, buddy. Did I ever tell you about the time that I fell in love with a succubus?
Oh yeah, I think you wrote letters about it.
Back on the morning, Oona kind of like awakens from her trance state. Everyone kind of gathering around her. She seems a little bit winded, but she like looks over at Cassandra. She says, "I have an idea. Go get Dad's sword." And Cassandra goes off to go grab something, and when she returns with what looks like the broken shards of Eddard's old blade. Not a light, but one that has become physical, damaged. Oona takes a piece, and she looks over at you, Hugh, and she says, "It has to be you to go back and get them out. You have to wake them up."
How am I supposed to do that?
It's kind of a lot to explain, but Eddard is alive. But it's not our Eddard. It's hard to explain because things are so messed up, but
It's
I just
my Eddard.
just have a feeling, and like she like gives you like the hilt of the blade, where it still has like a sharp jagged edge or a sharp piece still sticking off the end of it.
Yeah.
And she says, "This is the scary part, but you have to say that it's yours. Okay?
It's mine.
You have to mean it, okay? You have to really say that you mean." And like you hear like an explosion in the distance, people shouting, and Fenrir stands with Cassandra, and they say, "Whatever you guys are gonna do, just make sure it works. Come on!" And like he kind of runs off, and you hear like this battle ensuing outside.
I try and say it as convincing as possible. It is mine.
Make a charisma check.
19.
So you're holding this hilt, and it seems to kind of have like a faint glow to it for a moment. And she's just like, all right, hold that thought. Just keep focusing, okay?" And then like she like stands before you, and she like takes your wrists. She's holding them, and she seems to be kind of like concentrating as best she can. More explosions from outside seem to be getting closer and closer, and the glow kind of becomes white hot on the remaining edge of this blade. And she's looking at you, and she doesn't seem to be looking at the physical form anymore. Instead, she seems to be looking at you. And she says, It makes sense now. And she takes the blade, with you holding the hilt, and thrusts it up into your chest. Oh,
Meanwhile, that's when this world's Rodney rolls, but it's just like they're breaking through. Yep.
no, the blade goes through, piercing your body. You can feel the life starting to drain from you. And she's like, I really hope I did this right. And the roof to this temple shatters as this armored stater drops into the room. And when he sees you guys, he unleashes this blast of fire, immediately blocked by Fenrir, who's in his bestial form. He catches it with his mouth and just seems to kind of deflect it off to the side. Almost like he caught the fire and just spat it back out. But upon impact, it's so close to Ona that she covers her eyes, and it seems to swipe at her eyes. And she lets out a scream, and as you're falling to your knees with the blade still in your chest, you suddenly feel yourself get pulled away from the body.
Fuck that again.
And when you get pulled from the body, you find yourself in yet another black and white world, not too far from a village of people being raided by an army.
Alright, I start making my way to the village this guy. Thinking to myself, really? Again? I've died twice in like the last 2 days.
As you kind of make your way into this town, you quickly realize that this army of people, these inhabitants, are being led by a ruthless leader. This ruthless leader seeking a way out of this prison, this place that they've all been encased to. You find yourself among some of the survivors in the village who are taken in, and through a period of time, you earn your right to kind of live amongst them. And you start to understand that you are within Eddard's blade. This cursed magic item forged by a god of death. The inhabitants that are living within it, the ancestors of those who once wielded the sword themselves. That you were here because your claim to the sword, and then your death by the sword, has transmitted your soul here, locking you away into this prison.
Of course.
But it's one day, while you're learning all this and trying to blend in, you learn about this great leader of theirs, that you see a familiar face trekking across, being carried by this giant of a person. And you realize that it's LaFay being carried unconscious into a dark tunnel.
That doesn't seem very, cash money, so I'm gonna follow.
When you follow, you see that she's been laid for this leader, this tall man with black hair and pale skin. He's looking at her and he says, "Is it possible that you came from the world beyond? Physical." And he goes on to tell her that she's here by a mistake, and that if they work together, they can all escape this world, this prison that they're in.
Okay. I'm gonna just keep following and watching.
So you keep following, you're watching. Time passes here in a irregular rate. You grow a beard longer than normal, having to trim it. You become part of the people here, watching LaFay from a distance. Until eventually, Vesrin, this leader of theirs, returns and says that he has found a way. And that it's time for LaFay to achieve her part. To release them all. It is here that you make yourself known to her. And upon reconnecting with her, you learn that you remember how she was dead, right? And how she was put into an icebox?
Yeah.
She tells you that her spiritual self was transferred into Edart's blade, which is technically a prison for those cursed to the blade. And that Vesrin and a lot of the main generals that lead this army of people are old ancient people from thousands of years ago. And that they're cursed to live and never age in this universe, in this world. And that his goal is to basically let everyone out. But you also learn that it's not just his interest, it's in the interest of someone called the Patron. An otherworldly being that no one knew existed until now. Together, you travel to this sacred place that he speaks of, enacting a plan to face off against an army that defends this sacred temple. And you're told that inside of this temple is a grove with a forge to be used to open a gateway to the mortal plane.
Feels oddly familiar.
I believe he didn't make it in though, right?
From what I recall, got pretty much jumped by a whole bunch of soldiers.
Yeah.
And Zundus and the other guy had to leave him
Yeah,
behind.
LaFay ends up going ahead with 2 adventuring members to complete this mission. You, getting entangled during the fight, end up surrounded by an army of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically start to beat you to a pulp. That's where we had left your character when we'd last seen you.
Yeah, I was getting my ass beat over that, yeah.
So you're getting beat up, and as you're kind of clinging on to what's left, you might stand up and do the whole "I ain't hear no bell,"
I ain't no bell.
and
Rip off my armor.
as they're all getting ready to kill you, execute you, there is a sweeping roar of people that kind of enclose in as Vesrin's army pushes back against these people and basically liberates you from the situation. So now, free of being captured and killed, you're clinging on to a point of health, and you can see them all clearing the rubble that leads into this temple, and they all start to file in as best they can. What do you do?
I'm gonna attempt to go with them.
So, as you're kind of pushing your way through, they're taking captive all the people that they capture along the way, eventually leading into this passageway of tunnels. There's confusion and chaos as all these people are fighting, capturing, they're shouting and screaming. And then all of a sudden there's a boom. And this power seems to kind of wash over all of you. There's silence and stillness in the air as everybody waits and wonders, some whispering, saying, Did it work? Did he do it? The ceiling above you all, this cave, this temple, seems to split open suddenly. The rocks and the rubble of the mountain are being lifted into the sky, and above you, you can see that there's a fracture in the sky itself, and people are being lifted into the air. You yourself start to feel yourself losing your stability and get pulled into the sky.
Not really sure how to react to getting randomly abducted. Well, yeah. That's
And,
what you're just like, for fuck's sakes.
and as you get lifted into the sky, all these people screaming and shouting as they get pulled higher, higher, you escape out into the open, and a white light seems to wash over you. And when you awake, you find yourself in the capital.
Oh shit.
Night sky seems to be cascading over the surrounding area. People putting away their work tools and their setups for the night.
I just want to point out, technically, that means from him interacting with the blade like that, he has a warlock level.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Half paladin, half fighter, half warlock.
Basically, yeah.
You're kind of looking about and you're confused. You notice that there's like a couple of other people from that world that you were in, dressed in their like survival gear. The surrounding people of the city are like kind of looking at you all confused as you seemingly just appeared there all of a sudden. The streets are kind of full. When you look about, you notice there's a lot of them just kind of standing about. And when you look off to the east, between all the houses and such, you can just make out the castle. The castle of the capital has been painted pink. It's reflective. It's an eyesore. And as night seems to kind of be falling over the town, you are just left standing there confused.
Why the fuck is it pink?
In the heavens,
In the beginning.
you, asleep, can hear shouting in the hallway, followed by a loud crashing sound. And the voice of Palor says, "You have brought one to us that is not supposed to be here. And now, you and her have been working together against me." And you can hear the voice of Johnny say, "They have a right to know. All of it. The truth. Everything that's been happening. It's because of you. Everything. You're a traitor to the very people who worship you. You..."
I'll try to go over there and sneak over to see like what's going on. But yeah.
When you step out, you see that there are two...
Do put the cloak on,
Okay.
so he's invisible.
You put the cloak on, and you see that there's two angelic figures that like walk past, and they push open your door, and they seem to be searching for you. As you make your way towards the main hall, you see that Palor is standing there with his own army of like men, like there's about a dozen of them, and they have the Raven Queen like restrained, and she has like these things wrapped around her face. And Johnny's laying there, beaten and bloodied. And he says, "All I've ever done is serve Melora. What have you done to her? She gets what she deserves. And as long as we control the heavens, Arzon gets his piece."
Oh shit.
Palor seems to look right at you.
I just kind of start moving through and everything.
He waves his hand, and your robe like just flies right off your body.
I'm already feelining it.
And so you've brought
Seeing
your
as it might be the best bet, running toward the Raven Queen. Try to unshackle. If
Johnny,
I need to, I can do
seeing
attacks.
you running out in the open, says, "No, you just gotta run, please. You just." And he just lifted into the air by some sort of like telemagnetic power. And he says, "Please let him go. You don't deserve this." Taylor says, "I am a god. I do what I like." And he raises his hand. Johnny seems to kind of get lifted up higher, and then he just gets hurled through the floor of the hall. And you just see him. And he turns to you, and he says,
Grapes. Ready for shackles, if possible. No,
you punch, and you try to grab,
I do have my fists are considered magical.
and no matter how you pull at this, there seems to be resisting you.
Okay.
And Paylor, kind of looking at you with pity, he says, "Let's see if you survive the fall." And he just kind of flicks his finger.
Oh shit!
And you get suddenly knocked into the same hole. And you plummet. You can just see the, almost like Olympus sitting on a cloud, shrinking and getting further and further
Easy.
away until it just vanishes into nothing. And you're falling through nothing as you can look ahead and see Johnny unconscious.
Kind of try to make my way toward him to see if I can grab him.
You're extending your
The
hand
cloak,
out.
was it just like the hood got knocked back?
No, he
or-
flicked it off,
Okay.
tossed it into the temple. You're my cloak.
You bastard.
But you're like reaching out, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution save.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Let's do this one.
14?
You're falling. You're seeing Johnny. You're trying to reach out, but your hand gets flung back. You can feel heat building up around you. Your body's starting to lose its composure, and then you just kind of seem to be blacking out.
Hold on a second. I feel like I have something that might help with this. I do have slow fall, so
You're falling unconscious though.
yeah, but basically Ronnie won't take fall damage at all. Well, not at all, but reduce fall to reduce falling damage by 75. So there's that. But considering how high up I am, I feel like it didn't. I don't know.
And you start to kind of black out, and then like you see Johnny, this little light kind of fading, and then it's just blackness. And then you slowly start to wake up again, and panic ensues as you can see the water getting closer and closer underneath you. What do you do?
I see if I can hear you real quick. Wait, actually, can I re-roll that? No, it already happened. I just saw now I had
But
something.
you wake up and you see a body of water fast approaching before you.
Just to. Okay, so I have slow fall, so I'll reduce damage by 75. I'm not sure how much damage I'm going to take from this, but I'm also going to spend a key point for that. And then, I'm not sure how this will work exactly, but I probably spend a key point to use Flurry of Blows, but also use the other key points to like cast. Well, not really cast, but perform Hand Up Healing. Let me see how this works. Use Flurry of Blows. You can replace one of them. I'm not sure how that'll work exactly, but
You hit the water really hard.
also sorry, there's just a bunch of stuff on here.
I would say don't worry about it too much because I am trying to wrap it up. But you
I'll just try to straighten myself out.
you hit the water like concrete. You can feel your body kind of like loosen, and this faint, familiar feeling of death slowly creeping in. And you're sinking and sinking deeper into the water, and the light of the moon just gets further and further away. And then you see this shape kind of swimming over you. And it seems to kind of move, and you see an eye tilted and wait and open towards you. It's reptilic, like a large snake that's just appeared before you. But as you're starting to fade out of consciousness, life slipping away, you feel this gentle caress encapsulate your body. And you see that there is what looks like a woman, some sort of like merfolk woman. Her staff in her hand, she floats before you. Light glow about her in the water as her skin begins to glow as well. As she sees you and she takes you, and you fade out to unconsciousness. In the capital, Hugh, the people seem to gasp, almost in fear, as a light begins to appear above the capital city. A meteor, seemingly, is coming right towards the capital. People panicking, they seek to take cover. The guards falling back towards the castle. It's gonna strike! Let's go! Hurry! It's gonna hit the second tower! Sorry. I had to.
We love our dark humor.
But they start to run in that direction, and you see as this light streak and crashes through the top of the castle. An explosion that kind of like resonates with the entire city. You see like part of the roof collapse down, people pointing in awe as part of it catches fire, and this plume kind of smoke comes out of the top. And as everyone kind of gathers and witnesses this, you feel like this kind of cold chill run to the city.
It's a cold chill.
Make a perception check.
Perception says 15.
You just catch this shimmer in the sky where the meteor had struck through, and this magical barrier collapses.
Oh, shit.
You have this odd prickling feeling as you're kind of looking around. You see some people, the people that came with you,
Mm-hmm.
they start to kind of clutch at their heads, and they like fall down on their knees, and they're like trying to get a hold of themselves as something seems to be taking over them. You notice that the shadows that are before them on the ground seem to kind of stretch out and form into these other humanoid creatures with horns on their heads. Familiar to you, you realize that these are shadow demons. And there seems to be hundreds of them in the city.
Oh, fuck.
And as the magical barrier falls, and you look up above the city, out in the heavens, you see that the stars almost seem to have shifted and moved in an odd fashion. This ripple, this crack in the sky is this odd looking, what's the term when you see multiple colors in the sky?
Iridescent? No. No.
Almost like northern lights, but it's like
Yeah.
coming from the sky itself. You can see almost like a
Oh,
galaxy.
fuck.
The words.
Shit. Starts with an A.
You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it starts with an A, though.
But beyond that, you can see in the darkness of the night sky, space itself seems to have split open. You can see thousands more stars reaching out, and there's 6 figures descending down. And as the city starts to kind of stare up in horror and fear, you have this sickening feeling inside of your gut that something terrible is coming. And that's where we end tonight's session.
Oh, you fucker. Okay, so that's... I'm liking this. I'm liking this little catch-up.
It is a setup for the next session. I want everybody to be together because this is the beginning of the end. So,
Does Hugh level up?
Hugh does level up, but he levels up into Warlock. Rodney levels up, but he levels up into Druid.
Okay. This is
How many subclasses can you have?
You can have them all if you want. It's just
it's unlimited, but it just depends like how everything blends together and
you
all
can
that.
choose not to do this if you want. Take a regular level, which you're owed one anyways.
Okay.
Although
I don't think he leveled up last time.
no,
Nope.
but
It's been like weeks since I've been here.
I mean, technically, we could say that like he's not affected by warlock stuff now.
He
but
doesn't have to take the
Yeah.
level if he doesn't want to. I don't want to do that. But we will
No,
be.
I mean,
I think we're looking to meet up again in about 2 weeks or so.
if I had that's up to Hugh, really, right there.
Man, it's up to you. If you want to take a level in Warlock, you can. Otherwise, just take a regular level into whatever you want.
okay.
All right. I'll give you
But
I'll give you more detailed catch up, but I feel like giving you just your own perspective on things kind of helps. But I'll give you like more detailed recollection of the past events.
But I think the most important thing to understand here, Ronnie lives.
And with that, we'll see everybody on the next session.
Right.
Of course, my app doesn't work now when I need it to.
Rodney lives. Rodney Raydover lives. And that's all, folks.
Oh, I see what I mean.